Okay, let me just walk you through a couple of quick examples here of how we could use loops in a program. I'm back here on Chesapeake and I've got my, my little sample program here. I just got a little stub here. Let me go ahead, I'm just going to make two integers. I'm going to call them I and n. And let's say n is going to be how far our program counts. Like let's say I'm just going to make a little loop that says, let's just say n equals 100. For I equals 0, I is less than n, I plus plus, what should the program do? How about just print to the screen the integer I? Oh, I meant a percent d there. Okay, let's just try this. Alright, simple little program here. All it's going to do is count to 100. Watch what happens when I compile it. Oh, I made a mistake. I forgot, I missed a semicolon. Look at that. There we go. Compiled, run it. So for 100 times, from I equals 0 to I is less than n was equal to 100, so we counted from 0, let me scroll up here. Let me scroll that far? Yes. Then the first time through the loop, I was equal to 0, then I plus plus meant I was 1, I plus plus meant I is 2, as we go through this loop 100 times, until I was equal to 99. The next time through, after I plus plus, I was equal to 100, it didn't go into the loop, so we're done. Well, we're moving on. I guess I should make that a little bit more clear. Let me go ahead and put a printf here. I am done. Just so you can see what's going on here, right? If I compile this again and run it, see, it got, after it breaks out of the loop, it just moves on to the next line. There could be a lot of program still to come. Okay, doesn't mean it's breaking out of the program completely. It's just breaking out of the loop and moving on to the next part of the program. So we could change I equals 100, I'm sorry, n equals 100 to n equals 1000. Compile it and run it. Woo, look at that, we got all the way up to 999 before we are done. There we go. We could change this, instead of counting by I equals I plus 1 or I plus plus, we could change this to I equals I plus 10. Okay, so we're going to increment by 10 each time. Compile it and run it. See how now we went, each time through, I was equal to 10 greater than it was the time before, so 790, 800, 810, 820, all the way up to 990. After it added 10 more of that, it got 1000. 1000 is not, that is I less than n thing no longer passed, so it got out of the loop and typed I am done. We could do the same sort of thing if we had a floating point loop. Let's go ahead, I'm just going to erase all of this. Let's do the same sort of thing with a floating point loop. Let's just say we've got float temperature in Fahrenheit. Alright, and let's just say we're going to have a little for loop here. Temperature in Fahrenheit equals 0 degrees. Temperature in Fahrenheit is less than or equal to 100 degrees. Temperature in Fahrenheit equals temperature, Fahrenheit equals temperature in Fahrenheit plus 5 degrees. And there's my little curly braces, and inside there we're going to indent by 1. And let's just print in floating point format, tempf. I mean, this doesn't really do anything all that interesting, but notice how we're going to have a floating point number that starts at 0, and as long as it's less than or equal to 100, temperature in Fahrenheit equals temperature in Fahrenheit plus 5 each time we go through the loop, and it just prints the number. Let's see here, if we compile it, oh, no errors that time, and run it. There we go. Temperature in Fahrenheit was 0, 5, 10, 15, all the way up to 100. So that's a little example there of a floating point loop. Again, one of the fancier things that you can do with these loops is make them nested, like, you know, working with the rows and then the columns in each row of data. But since we aren't actually going to be processing grids of data for like another month and a half or something, it's not necessarily such a great idea for us to spend a lot of time on that right here. So I think that's everything that you need. Let me just look again at that assignment 5.txt file and make sure we have everything that you need to know. Make sure that you understand for loops and while loops. Make sure that you understand that they can be integers and floats. Make sure that you want to have, yep, you know how to do all this already. Oh, infinite loops. Okay, it is possible to get stuck in a loop. If you make a mistake entering, you know, the way the loop control works, you can get yourself into a loop that runs and runs and runs. For example, let's go back into sample.c. Alright, if I just go back here, let me just, well, actually, let's undo that. Let's see, how do I do that? There it is. Okay, what if I had made my loop, instead of saying less than or equal to, 100. Let's just say while tempf is greater than. Oh, I know a good one. Okay. Let's put this back the way it was. Less than or equal to 100. Looks good. Okay, so we're going to start at 0, and as long as it's less than or equal to 100. But then over here, let's say we just added 0. So every time through the loop, we're going to start at 0. We're going to add 0 to it. And as long as we're less than 100, it's going to stay in this loop. Well, there's no way out of it. If we start at 0 and we add 0 to it every step of the way, we'll always be inside of that loop. And in fact, if I compile the program, it compiles, and if I run it, all it's doing is just writing millions and millions of zeros to the screen. How do I, oh no gosh, Dr. Shruggy, what do I do? It's stuck, it's stuck, it's stuck, what should I do? No, don't do any bad things like that. How do you stop a program that's running out of control? It's just running and running and running. The answer is Control-C. Hold down the Control key and press C, and it will break out. Okay? Control-C is a good trick. Anytime a program is doing something and you don't know how to make it stop, Control-C will stop. Okay? So keep that, that's just one of those tools, always keep near you. Control-C means stop any program. Okay, I think you have everything you need actually for this loops business. Please let me know if you have any questions. This has been Dr. John Shruggy.